So today, as you know, we've been hearing from your different principals, different colleagues, and today we are going to hear from Miss Marcy Holland. She is the proud principal at Oxon Hill High School. She has come up through our leadership program. She's been in ALP, she was in APIP, and she was a resident principal. And we are excited that she is going to join us today. And you know, she is a cheerleader. So if you're not awake and if you haven't had your coffee, you're about to have it right now through Miss Marcy Holland, proud principal at Oxon Hill High School. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Principal Holland, are you ready?
I am ready. Thank you,
Yes, you
Dr.
are ready. You are
Francis.
ready. Let's go. Let's
Yes,
go. Let's go. All right.
I am the biggest cheerleader there is. Okay, let me share my screen. Go to my presentation. Hopefully everyone can see it. Good morning again, Dr. Holden. I'm not sure if Dr. Golson is here. Good morning, and good morning to the phenomenal PGCPS family. As Dr. Holden stated, my name is Marcy Holland, and I am the proud COO of Oxon Hill High School. From my time this morning, I'm going to spend a little time talking about my transformational journey through heart-centered leadership. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Heart-centered leadership is defined as having the wisdom, courage, and compassion to lead others with authenticity, transparency, humility, and service. A little bit of background about myself. I have been the principal now at Oxon Hill High School for 4 years. May 23rd, I will graduate my first graduating class. So I'm so excited to hear that. And it has truly been a journey, but I can say that I have been successful by leading from the heart. And I just want to take some time this morning to outline these 4 key elements and align them to each one of my years. And so authenticity, year 1, the traditional year, and I'm calling it the traditional year because that was before COVID-19. Do the right thing, it will gratify some people and astonish the rest. So if you look at this picture here, I know I'm smiling, but I literally had a pit in my stomach. This was my meet and greet with the community, July of 2018. And, I went in with a mission. I was very intentional. It was a lot going on. And I know that I had to be very intentional about engaging all stakeholders. There are a lot of links in here with each element. I have linked the PISA rubric, also an artifact, a document that I use to keep track of the PISA standards. But I just want to read to you PISA Standard 1 because I did align my work in year 1 to PISA Standard 1, which is mission, vision, and core values. A highly effective school leader collaboratively develops and implements a student-centered mission and vision that are aligned with the school system's mission and vision and well-being of all student groups. And so, as I stated, I knew it was important for me to win all stakeholders over, primarily students. During this time, I gave a little background about myself, my journey to the principalship. I shared 3 goals that I had for that first school year, which was to learn the school culture, assess the school's instructional program, and build relationships with all stakeholders. I asked the community in their eyes what was necessary to move the school forward, and all I heard was communication. And so I spent my entire first year really putting the work in. As you see here, having one-on-ones with everybody, the administrative team, the teachers, students, community members. I worked very closely with my PTSA president at the time. I wanted to make sure that, we met on a regular basis so that she was well informed of what was going on in the school, and she would share that information with the community. I met with the building supervisor, our SRO, did walkthroughs with the cafeteria manager, everyone that touched the school. I knew that it had to be very critical, like I said, to win them over and to help them to understand what I was about, and that I was solely there to ensure that the students were successful. As far as winning the students over, visibility was key. So I wore myself out. Every athletic game, I was there. I tried to be at every honor roll assembly, every event through National Honor Society, everything we had, because we're a high profile school where there are a lot of events there. And I wanted to make sure that the students knew who their principal was. And so with then, that authenticity was all about, me being my genuine, authentic self, me speaking my truth, and me showing the community that I was really there to make sure that their young people were successful. So I took an observational stance, and I let them know that I was committed to taking the school to the next level together with that pit in my stomach here. So I do want to share with you briefly my opening video that a student actually did at the time. So hopefully it'll show. Greetings, Oxon Hill High School. I am Miss Holland, your new principal. I am very humble and honored and excited to lead the way into excellence. I'm a passionate individual for people, especially children. I learned early on in life that education would be your passport to success. And so it is my primary goal to ensure that we work together as a community, that the students understand. I chose to be a principal because I wanted to impact the lives of young people beyond the classroom setting. Prior to being a principal, I was an English teacher for 12 years. And I had a thought that if I could make this much impact within this classroom, what would it look like to expound upon these very strategies in a school? So with that, right here. My role as principal of Oxon Hill High School is to collaborate with all stakeholders to ensure that we successfully lead our students, our Clippers, both academically and mentally. In addition, it is my responsibility to be the driving force of the key initiatives like literacy, numeracy, and safe and healthy environment. Excellence for Oxon Hill High School is that we are successful in all of the academic programs that we provide. So together, we will ensure that students receive their college and career readiness endorsements. We will ensure that students have choices and opportunities from their success in our science and tech program, our culinary arts program, Project Lead the Way, Interactive Media, National Academy of Finance, Performing Arts, and our MC. All right, Clippers, our journey begins now. Okay, so that was just a little snippet of, pretty much what I talked about as far as year one was concerned with, being authentic and setting that tone and letting all stakeholders know that, we had to be student centered. So fast forward to year two, which started out still in a traditional environment. This was our shutdown year, but year two, well, let me read the quote. Your transparency will lead to other people's transformation. And so I align year two transparency to standard 10 school improvement, which reads, a highly effective school leader communicates school improvement as a priority to students, staff, and other stakeholder groups. So this is where I took all the feedback from year one, all of the listening that took place from the students, the parents, taking that observational stance and learning a little bit about the school culture, having the opportunity to observe teachers and see where the school was instructionally, and also build those relationships. I then pulled the staff together and, I posed a question to them. I said, to whom is your loyalty to? And so it was interesting to hear the responses. Some of the assistant principals said to me, as the principal, some said to staff, some said to parents and some said to students. And it was right at that moment I said, hey, you guys, listen, everything that we do has to be with the business of students. It has to be student-centered. Our loyalty has to be to them. And so I gave them a data snapshot. You all know we are a science and technology school, as I stated earlier, high profile. I wanted them to understand that 53% of our students were science and tech. Which meant the other 47% were non-science and tech. And what I had observed is a lot of attention had been taken or given towards our science and technology population, but we had 47% that were not being addressed. And that was inclusive of our ESOL population, students in our CTE program, our special education students, and then just students, they may not have been involved in anything, but they were not involved. And so year 2 was the year that we transitioned from DataWise into school performance plans. And so as a team, we worked together to develop our 3 SMART goals, which were in the areas of English, algebra, and ESOL. I was very intentional about building strong teams, starting with the admin team. I told them that we had to be on the same page. I told them they were instructional leaders. They were not leaders of, cafeteria duty and dismissal and those types of things, those operational things. I created a school governance team, SBMT, also known as the GO team, which is your team that is inclusive of all stakeholders that would make decisions around the school. Every Monday, we have a team that meets, and that actually was an existing structure that was going well from year 1. And at this table every Monday morning are the administrative team, counselors on the team. We have the building supervisor, school security, so that we're regularly being updated around what was going on in the school. I brought to light the school's vision and mission statement. I asked them to look at it, and in their mind, were there adjustments that needed to be made. I want to really highlight this PTSA image because, going in, like I said, I had to be intentional with letting the parents know that I was there to ensure to it that their young people were successful. And so that involved me building trust within that community. And in 1 year, I went from, them being fearful about the education of their students to us being a proud PTSA National School of Excellence. So that's something that I really take pride in because, culture is just so big in your school environment. We know that we're in the business of instruction and ensuring that students are academically successful, but the culture, really sets the tone. And so this is just a list of additional teams, that if I did not create the team, it was a pre-existing team, but I just made some adjustments around it so it would help strengthen us as a school and to move us forward. The Principals Action Committee team was really critical for me because when I looked at all of our student groups, they were all application processes for them to get into those groups. And so I wanted a committee that did not have an application process that would not, make students fearful or applying or feeling left out. And so that is my Principals Action Committee. It's a representation of every type of student that we have in the school, and we meet on a monthly basis at 8:30 a.m. and their curriculum is the Middle State Standards. And so they are responsible for school improvements. And actually the first year that I implemented this was my second year. And out of that group came our core values. And so, just additional structures again, and I got in front of the family and community engagement with the communication, sending out weekly updates. I really worked with our social media team. As you see here, I have, we had to control our narrative. And this is actually a video, so hopefully this presentation will be sent out. But this is a video representation of actual work within all of these groups. And then the other piece that was so important, in building the staff's capacity was just around developing professional learning communities. And so, throughout the years, we have read plenty of texts to help staff along the way, one being Move Your Bus. another being leadership and self-deception, another being the Google infused classroom. So now going into year 3. And also at the end, before I go into year 3, remember at the end of year 2, March of 2020, was when the announcement was made that we'd be going virtual for, 2 weeks. And then that turned into 2 years. And so that was when I had another pit in my stomach. And we know as principals, one of the worst things that you have to share with students is when you have to talk about, the death of a student or a faculty meeting. What I had to add to the list is when we had to tell students that they would not be having a graduation or a prom. And so at this moment, if you all were like me, we were all at this place of, I was in a groove. I thought I knew what was going on, the direction where I was going, and then it just got hit with a ton of bricks. And so this element is all around humility, letting go. Outlines year 3 to Peaceful Standard 5, which is a highly effective leader continually establishes a continuum of academic and social emotional supports informed to address the range of learners. How does the sea become the king of all rivers and streams? Because it lies lower than them. And so I went into my virtual element of having these coffee and conversations, because then I had to go back to this listening stance. I went to the Go Team, SBMT, and I said, all right, team, how are we going to be successful this year? How can we be creative to keep students engaged, keep parents engaged? What training do you need to be successful? And what ways, can we just be creative to just keep everyone connected? And then on top of that, right, we're managing just the social, emotional wellness of everyone and even ourselves. This was a tough time this year. And I have to be honest and say, I was like, I don't know, how I can continue to do this. But I just, tapped into just being caring and compassionate and leading by example and just saying, hey, you all, the main thing is your safety. Outside of that, what is it that you would like to see to help us through this time? And that was from students, staff, parents, community members, just the whole 9. And so I want to just take 1 minute to show you all how the staff rallied together just to even welcome students back during this time.
Please turn off your cameras to save the
Hello,
bandwidth.
welcome back, everyone, from the science department. I wish everyone a safe and productive year in these challenging times, but we can do it. Go Clippers!
Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be brave, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Hear what your mother said, read the books your father read, try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some have more cash than you, others take a different view. Why? Oh, why? You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. I know all I know, don't say baby. Some questions you can solve.
Okay, and so that was just another snippet of that. And like I said, I hope the presentation is shared. In the interest of time, all of these different links, again, are video presentations that are connected to some type of stakeholder with how we just really work to tap into the social emotional aspect of everyone and keep instruction moving forward. And last but not least, year 4, where we are currently, service. One should seek to serve and not to be great. For if you seek to serve, you will bump into greatness along the way. And so I connected, this last particular standard to the section 2, standard 3, equity and cultural responsiveness. The highly effective leader aligns, allocates resources to foster equitable student learning environments. So this was the year of the reacclimation, the re-engaging, reaffirming, the rethinking, going back to your why, looking at how we could be transformative, innovative, and, just really embrace change, but still balancing, COVID-19. So I just put some elements here, to work with the servant spirit, balancing the teacher shortage, the COVID-19 protocols, the student and staff safety. We know that's been a big challenge as the students are disconnected for so long, and they just came back so angry and out of kilter, as my grandma would say all the time. But, shout out to Dr. Reese and Dr. Campbell for your work in the equity office. I just wanted to show you very quickly, my equity leads here at Oxon High School have been working, to engage our staff in the transformation, equity, and excellence, initiative. And it's not easy trying to change, mindsets, trying to do things differently than what you've already done. But what we learned from this pandemic, it has definitely been an opportunity. And, I always say, there's some things we just can't go back to because we've learned a lot through this transition. My principal's action committee is currently working on realigning our school's vision and mission to be more so in alignment to the district. And last but not least, I want to show you this SEL strategy. I hope it comes up. We're currently in testing, but as testing ends, and you all know we have this long month of June, right? Woo, our graduation is May 23rd, and we still have a whole month left in school. But the GO team, they came to me at the beginning of this quarter and they said, oh, we have an idea for SEL strategy. And so it's time for the Clipper ship and its passengers to de-stress, open our minds, connect, know our limits, and the acronym is DOC. And essentially, it's similar to stop, drop, and read. And what we want to do is once we finish testing is randomly pick periods where we have students engage in this. And it will be an opportunity to do things that are connected to their interests. So maybe they may write, maybe they may listen to music, maybe they may draw or something to that nature. So at this time, like I stated initially, this has been no easy journey for any of us. I think that, like I said through the presentation, I have been successful because I have led by the heart. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Golson for your leadership. Thank Dr. Coley. Thank you, Dr. Holden, for this opportunity. Thank you to Dr. Marrow in Area 3. And last but not least, thank you to Dr. Ryans, my instructional director, who has been so supportive of me in this work. And so PGCPS family, we have been through a lot, but I know that we didn't come this far to only come this far, and greatness has happened through this time. So my only hope is that we finish strong. So thank you.
Thank you, Principal Holland. You did an amazing time. I love that. We didn't come this far just to come this far. I'm going to use that. I'm stealing it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we will share your presentation with the principals. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr.